So I've seen the things about Ultimate Girls Trip. I've seen how the majority of people are not loving this season. And I was like, I don't get it. And then the finale, I was like, okay, I get it. The finale, I was like, oh, all right, well, oh, the circle back to the bottle. It was just in their outdoor shower. And no one checked there. No one. So was this a bit? Was this a planned bit by producers? I don't... Was it Heather? I cannot believe it wasn't as silly as them accidentally throwing it out because they thought it was empty. The fact that it was a story plot. For real. I think this is a jump the shark low point in Housewives history. It's, I'm embarrassed for us. Gotta say, I'm embarrassed for us. We are way better than this. Look, okay. So I was going to have a very fun guest with me, but I need to talk to you about Spectrum. Okay? Wi-Fi went out yesterday. Again. Granted, I don't really have a good sense of time. I thought it was like 2 weeks ago. It was like 8 weeks ago. So they go, we'll be there tomorrow, which was today morning. They were on time. Whenever they have to go to the exterior of the house and like to the back, where there's wires, it's like, oh, this isn't good. And so sure enough, they say the Band-Aid we put on this problem last time isn't going to work. We need to do like the big things. And that's why you and these houses next to you have been also having issues. And I'm like, okay, well, what's it looking like? Monday afternoon. Okay. I am Wi-Fi down until Monday afternoon. Hopefully. So I've been watching all TV shows on my computer. I mean, I know there are bigger problems in the world, but are there? I'm just kidding. I'm so just kidding. But I can't Zoom. I did try to Zoom one time using my phone hotspot, but oh my God, the video was disgusting. The audio sounded distorted, so that's no longer doing that. So, I do have to say something though. I have no idea how internet works. So I just wish that when things like this happened, which it does constantly with Spectrum, they would offer like some kind of discount. But instead they're like, I know, right? It sucks. I'm like, okay, but I'm paying for it. Not like I know I have all this internet goes to all these houses. And I'm like, I don't know how you guys do it. But I pay for it. And that's the one thing you're supposed to do is work. And now and so I was like, I asked if I work from home and rely on the internet. And then I realized as I was saying it that so many people do. And so they referred me to this form. And it required math. I was like, okay, never mind. Touche, Spectrum. Besides, I'm glad I didn't need to recap this. I ended up, she's going to come back and do something. We're going to maybe recap Jersey, who knows? But she will be back, and I'm keeping her a secret because she's kind of fun. But I'm maybe happy to do this solo because what a travesty this finale was. I'm being dramatic. I'm very upset about that bottle storyline, though. Very. It's offensive. Okay. let's just start this episode, for crying out loud. Here at She Speaks Bravo, we believe that Bravo TV is a great form of self-care and therapy. Look at me. I've been using it for over a decade, and I am a complete mess. That's me, by the way. I'm Emily, and I'm your host on this journey.
What is this, honey?
I love that.
If you're not already subscribed, get subscribed and hit that notification bell because I'm releasing new episodes at least 3 times a week.
You fool.
That's my opinion!
I talk Bravo, I talk true crime, and sometimes I talk a little scripted. So whatever you're here for, I hope you enjoy the show. All right, I'm skipping quite a bit. Like, even in my notes, I'm like skipping, not even taking notes on that. Whitney and Gizelle talk in the pool, though, and Whitney mentions that Heather's never been on the pole, and she does this like, I think Heather has a secret freak inside of her. I'm like, secret freak? I'm confused because there's this part of Heather that she's like seemingly like open about wanting to get laid, and she's like into black guys, but then she's a secret freak. I'm like, isn't she open about it? You know what I mean? That confused me a little bit, as per most things about Heather. I'm like, what is your brand? Like, I need you to sit down with a brand consultant and map out what your brand is, what it isn't, what your message is, because you're all over the place. You know what I mean? Like you're because what? Whitney was naked. And she's like, I want to get out of the pool, but I don't want everyone staring at me. So Giselle's like, she needs to get out. So y'all need to turn around. Okay. But Gizelle pulls Pepsi aside and says, I want you to bring the enlarged picture of the bottle and an easel. Oh no. I was like, okay, this is continuing. So knowing what we know now, I'm like, does production know this bottle is there, or has Heather really had it, and Whitney really had it this whole time, and they let it drag on this long? Is this funny? I don't know. It's like, I can't stand that I'm even talking about it. Leah's still on her IV, and she's like, this is an 8-hour IV, but I'm not missing that dinner. Just the thought of Leah. She's in Thailand. She's been so sick and dehydrated. She has been in a hospital on an IV. And she's like, I will rip this IV out of my arm if it kills me, because I will be at that fucking dinner. I'm never going to hear the end of it. We still think, I'm like waiting for her to leave early, because that was the tea. She left the trip early. All lies. Whatever the leak was on Ultimate Girls Trip was bad, because none of it was true. Pepsi comes in and talks to Portia about the last dinner, the Thai dinner, how he's going to be giving them all gowns. And Portia jokes like, do you want to marry one of these women? And I was like, I doubt it. Something tells me Pepsi's not into women. You know what I mean? They get in the vans to go to wherever they're going for lunch. Ooh, I have the hiccups. Ooh, I hate that. Candiace, Whitney, and Heather are in their van, and because Candiace and Whitney smoked weed, they are like, Whitney's like, who surprised you the most? Candiace goes, you are my favorite. You are the best. You're amazing. They're holding hands, and Heather it's like her worst of all the people to do this to. It's where Heather's worst nightmare. Sorry to laugh. It's like, of all the people that put this in. Sorry. She's just like, okay. And I'm like, Heather, don't you smoke weed? But in her confessional, she's like, don't worry about me here, girls. Doesn't affect me at all. She's going to talk about that in therapy for sure. And in the other van, we start to see some dark cracks in Marisol and Alexia's friendship, because Marisol, truly, she is incorrect. She's like, it was a small like family, like little old couple that did the casting, and the original casting was great. And Alexia's like, well, that's where we disagree, because that's why we were off the air for 8 years, okay? And I'm like, well, she's not wrong. It was the original casting was good, though. You had Joanna Krupa, you had Adriana, you had Alexia, you had Marisol. That was a strong cast. But, you know, Anna wasn't, she was a tough sell. But it was the way, like, the show just started to trickle out on season 3 because Anna and Leah got into it. It was a tough sell. It was also kind of bad producing. That wasn't just the cast's fault. It was bad producing. So, you know, but anyway, the point of this is Alexia is like, we are best friends, but she never agrees with me. I'm like, never? That's insane to say never. And she's like, I was fighting with everyone all season, and Marisol just stayed quiet. And I'm like, I guess she does stay quiet. But, like, I don't know if that's entirely true, because she doesn't stay totally quiet. I feel like when I'm thinking about some of the fights, like I'm thinking about the Gringo dinner, she stepped in a little bit. I kind of enjoy that she doesn't just start like going off, and Marisol doesn't start like just going off and defending. But I guess what Alexia's point is like, if she's talking to Adriana, then Julia will step in. But then Julia made an effort not to do that. Like, they even said a few times that Julia was like sitting there and they're like, you got this, you can stay quiet. And she's like, it's really hard, but she made an effort not to do that. I think Alexia's just being a fucking asshole, and she'll get even worse later in the episode. My goodness. They arrive at this stunning venue, and Heather's confessional. She goes, this is the type of exotic Greenland I thought Thailand would be. But I don't want to say that. Instead, it looked like an armpit. It was one of those laughs where it was so fake, and you could tell the producer sitting across from her was like, okay. Moving on. Like, girl, I get brand manager, brand consultant, brand planner. I'm not sure what exactly you need here, but we need to get it on paper. So you get it. Because what? It was like when she made, what was the joke she made about she likes to exploit when they went shopping 2 episodes ago. Or something. The one I did with Ronnie. I love that he came on my podcast. She's like, the 2 things I love the most, like exploiting child labor. Oh, it was really dark. And we were like, ha 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 ha. Okay. No. Then they do the TikTok thing, whatever. And poor Portia, when she said, she goes, oh no, she wasn't recording. And then she goes, oh no, it's there. Was it? So I made the mistake of asking a friend of mine, who I found out is a bit of a hypochondriac, about something that's been bothering me health-wise. And she took me down some very scary paths. So, found out you are extremely unlikely to find quality medical advice from a friend, but you can find it from a doctor on ZocDoc. Thousands of medical professionals on ZocDoc are there to help you. They listen like a friend, but they give you the expert care that you need. ZocDoc is the only free app that lets you find and book doctors who are patient-reviewed, take your insurance, are available when you need them, and treat almost every condition under the sun. You know, when you're not feeling your best and you are just trying to hold it together, finding great care shouldn't take up all of your energy. But that is where ZocDoc comes in. Using their free app that millions of users rely on, you can find the right doctor that meets your needs and fits your schedule. You can book an appointment with just a few taps in their app and start feeling better faster with ZocDoc. Go to ZocDoc.com/SheSpeaks and download the ZocDoc app for free. Then find and book a top-rated doctor today. Many are available within 24 hours. That's ZocDoc.com/SheSpeaks. ZocDoc.com/SheSpeaks.
I love that.
Lunchtime. Marisol straight up says, I don't know if it's a monotonous question and if we've already done it, so tell me, but who did you think you were going to like the least before we came here? Alexia goes, we did that already. You're drinking too much. Yeah, that was a thing to do. But Gizelle goes, we got a different game to play now. And out comes Pepsi with this. It is high quality printing too. You know, it's not like a cheap paper on cardboard, you know, because I was thinking she could have done it on like that poster board, you know, or even like shitty paper and taken a glue stick and put it on. You know what I'm talking about? Nope. This is like laminated type of shit. This is expensive. And Portia's like, I know Gizelle did not find a printing place in Thailand. I mean, this is ridiculous. This is... Because what it looks like is Gizelle thinking that this is going to turn into memes. You know, it's kind of like how we make the memes of whenever they bust out receipts, you know? Like, that's what it looks like she's trying to make it that. It looks like she's trying to turn it into memes. And I hope no one turns this into memes. I hope no one uses it, but I'm sure people already are. I think I already saw someone make a meme like, I'm not petty, and then this is me with the tequila bottle blown up. I'm like, okay, well, that's what she's getting what she wanted. But now we go into this trial. I don't even want to go into it. Like, don't make me. Okay, I don't care. This is so fucking stupid. So I'm literally going to skip my notes. Blah, blah, blah. Heather's cleared. Gizelle clears Marisol. Now Candiace is like, why are you accusing me? And Gizelle is like, this bottle means a lot to me. Girl. And Candiace, because it means something to you does not mean you accuse your friends of larceny. Larceny. Then they have to pause the court, though, because drinks come. And the shot is funny because Giselle's just like behind the poster board now. And she's like, pause. Court is paused. And they're just calling out the drinks. They want to render the verdict on Candiace. And as Alexia is taking it serious, she's like, well, I can't say either way. You know, I don't know. Not enough evidence. And Portia says she still has doubts. A hit dog will holler. Candiace says she is not friends with the accuser. And Portia's like, okay, we're losing friendships over this. Like, we're losing friendships over this. You're going to let this tequila bottle have enough weight on us on this storyline here. You're going to let it be a pivotal game changer, this tequila bottle. And then Candiace goes to Portia, you are not accused of stealing and put on Ashy trial. Ashy trial was a good line. But Gizelle says Candiace has not been a good friend. And then Candiace cries and says that Gizelle has come for everyone and she was just waiting for her turn. And this is where I think Candiace, her sensitivity is hard for her as a housewife. I've always said this was her downfall. She takes it too seriously. She doesn't know how to have a little bit of fun. And I know people are going to be like, how can you have fun in this? I agree. I agree. Gizelle makes it very difficult to have fun because she's fucking crazy with the stuff that she pulls out. She will go into a scene and say crazy, 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 crazy stuff and accuse you of crazy shit. Like, this is nuts, the stuff she pulls out. And then it's done. So that's why I think people just need to start going in and saying crazy, 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 crazy stuff to her. Like stuff about Jamal, stuff about anything in her life. Like, pull out all the dirt, all the scandal. There's gotta be stuff from the church days. Like, just start saying it all. She will get mad, just like you guys get mad. But let's just make it dirt. Like, you need to start playing offense with her because she plays dirty. No matter what. If you play clean, she'll play dirty. So play dirty. Because she looks at this as a TV show. She does not look at this as anything but that. And honestly, I get that it's dirty that she came for Chris, but at this point now, you heard what she accused him of. I get it, but like, now we've belabored this point. It's dirty what she did. But you can go bust out some shit on Jamal. I'm sure. Sure. Go do it. Because that's how she's playing. But like, this is how the show's going to go season after season after season after season. Like, I just need Candiace to toughen up. I just need her to toughen up because she would be powerful. And I always say this about myself. If I didn't cry when I got angry, oh man, I would be unstoppable. But I cried too when I get angry. And I think that happens to Candiace. So I just wish, because Gizelle doesn't cry and it makes her seem cold. I wish Candiace didn't cry. I always said, because Candiace is a sensitive, sweet soul. She just reads a bitch to filth and you're like, oh, how could you? Well, everyone does it. But because she's so sensitive and she has such bad anxiety. When I saw this study, because my goddaughter is half black, and my friend who is her mother, has been trying to get her to get a black therapist because no one seems to treat her daughter's anxiety properly, because some people don't realize that typically in black women, irritability is misdiagnosed. It's usually anxiety. That's how it's coming out. It's like, you seem irritable, but it's like, no, it's anxiety. And that's what happens with Candiace. Candiace is irritable and she's lashing out because she's so fucking anxious. And I think that she needs to get that kind of therapy where it's like, your irritability is your anxiety. So let's tackle that. And then it will make you less sensitive and it will make you less defensive. It'll make you not cry so easily, make you calmer with your words, more controlled, have more fun. This is a TV show. You're clocking in, you're clocking out, because that is all Gizelle is doing. She is I don't think Gizelle has a lot of depth to her. That is maybe not a compliment, but I just think she is like, that's as deep as she goes. She's kind of like, both her and Robin, it's like, that's as deep as they go. They're like, what? Like, we don't get it. Like, they're airheads. Like, what? We don't. Does that make sense? Did I make any sense just now? Because Candiace is deep. Candiace is deep. She connects deeply with people. She can go there. She can have philosophical conversations. They cannot. That's what makes them like Portia and Gizelle. That's what makes them very funny. Portia can go deep, but Portia can also cut a fucking bitch too. Candiace has the anxiety that comes out in the wrong ways, and then she feels misunderstood because people don't understand where it's coming from, and because of all her mother, probably misdiagnosing her, her mom gaslighting her and calling it something else and giving her bad treatment. Let's get Candiace in some good therapy. And I'm seeing it because my goddaughter has horrible anxiety that's got some like OCD tendencies. And thankfully, my friend, who's like my best, like my sister, we know mental health issues. And so we have been through extensive therapy, and my goddaughter's therapist, we're like, that bitch doesn't know what she's talking about. Like, thankfully, we know therapy better than her her therapist. We're like, shut up. So we're looking actively. I'm helping her find a therapist who is Black because we're going through a program because it's like financial aid for it and stuff. But anyway, that was a pretty deep detour. Sorry about that. But that's my philosophical, psychological analysis on Candiace. She just needs to get that anxiety, irritability, then that whole spiral that happens to her under control. And then she could take on Gizelle because she has the wit, the depth, the vocabulary, the language. The vocabulary is a big one too, to get her ass. And they need to start coming in offense because Gizelle can take it. She may act like she can't, but what's she going to do? What's she gonna do? Because she comes for you guys and you just got to start going for her. Say it. Because what is she going to say? Oh, that's off limits. What is? Just don't touch her kids. Don't go there. Duh. But what's she going to say? What are you going to go for that she hasn't gone on for you? Take it. Do it all. Go for it. We've got to start playing offense with both Robin and Gizelle. I mean, I guess they kind of play offense with Robin, like Karen does. But they can go harder. Do it all. Do it all. They're waiting for it. So go ahead.
How could you do this to me? Question mark.
Did you even know? Because I didn't. And 5 years ago, I found out that you can get body odor, just like you get under your armpits in other places on your body. Because I, for a whole day, thought I had an STD. I had just hooked up with a new guy the night before, and I had to go to work the next day. So I'm running around at work, and I go to sit to do something on the computer, and I went to cross my legs, and an odor that I had never smelled before wafted up, and I was like, oh my God, this is it. It happened. It's happened. So I started Googling things, and when, you can imagine the search words. And so I got a targeted ad for Lumi. And I'm like, what is this? Whole body deodorant. And it says the tagline is for pits, privates, and beyond. And I was like, well, now hold on. That's a whole lot less scary than having an STD. And I see that it's been created by an OBGYN who was sick and tired of the vagina being blamed for the smells that can come from that area. So she crafted Lumi, a uniquely formulated pH balanced deodorant that is aluminum-free, skin-safe, and clinically proven to control odor for up to 72 hours. But I would hope that you shower within those 72 hours. But hey, if you needed it for 72 hours, it was there. So I bought it right then and there. Impulse purchase. And I used it, and I smelled like toasted coconut, which is the scent I got. Then I found out that you can use Lumi in the elbow crease, behind your knees, anywhere that you feel like you get kind of gross. And in case I haven't, did I mention it's aluminum free? It's also baking soda free, paraben free. It's pH balanced for safe use below the belt. You can use it under your armpits. You can use it everywhere. So Lumi's starter pack is perfect for new customers because it comes with a solid stick deodorant, a cream tube deodorant, and 2 free products of your choice, like the mini body wash and the deodorant wipes. I do have those, but they're in my car. I leave them there because, got to freshen up on the road. And free shipping. So as a special offer for listeners, new customers get $5 off a Lumi starter pack with code SHESPEAKS at lumideodorant.com. That equates to over 40% off your starter pack when you visit lumideodorant.com and use code SHESPEAKS.
Enough!
So they changed the subject. They changed the subject, excuse me. And Marisol's like, well, I'm upset because my coffee's missing. And everyone's accusing me of not bringing it. And then there's Alexia's like, okay, well, we cannot do the same thing with the tequila because we never saw your coffee. We saw the tequila though. And Alexia is just straight up being a bitch. She's like basically calling her delusional, like you didn't bring your coffee. And she's interrupting as Marisol's trying to explain it. And Marisol yells, stop. And Alexia in Spanish is like, oh, you're acting like Candiace now? Well, no, you're being a bitch. God. And Portia's like, you're just irritated because you're all in the same room. That would irritate the fuck out of me too. They get back to the house. Leah is back. She has a viral infection. probably a stomach one. Ugh, brutal. But she is going to that dinner. Blah, blah, blah. Things happen. It was pretty fucking dull, gotta say. Pepsi goes around with the stylist for the dresses. Giselle's is too tight, and Portia has a crown. Heather looks great, though, with her beach waves and that, like, blush pink that they gave her. Gorgeous. But Heather and Whitney have their moment on, like, the veranda or whatever it is. Heather can't even make eye contact with Whitney here. She's looking every other place, but she knows that she wants to have this scene for whatever reason, where she's like, I just want this to be the night where we just, let it go. And she's looking, her eyes are darting all around. And, just to be in cousin love. And Whitney's staring right at her. She's like, well, I'm personally there. Are you? And Heather's eyes get as big as they can get. And she just nods and it's like, I want to be 100%. Those are not the same thing. You want to be, or she's like, I want to be, but yeah, 100%. It's like, you're lying. Are you just doing this for optics? But I guess she thinks that's what Whitney's doing. Huh. So she maybe thinks that's what, okay, whatever. And then Whitney gives a speech. I'm sorry for questioning your Mormon journey speech. And Heather says it wasn't her place and does this bit, but then they get distracted by a feather. Okay. And then they're all getting ready to go out and they're gathering. And Heather and Whitney perform their bad weather bit. And it's lame. I'm just going to say it. I was embarrassed for them. So they board their vans in the usual groups. Candiace, Heather, Whitney, Leah, Marisol, Alexia, Portia, Gizelle. Marisol brings up being a Capricorn and Alexia's like, oh my God. Ugh. And they start to kind of bicker. And this little bit of bickering reminds Gizelle, flip into producer mode. She's like, oh, that's right. Can we talk about the little bit with you guys earlier today? Marisol says that when Alexia gets attacked, she gets quiet. And they do this compilation of the two of them bickering throughout the trip because of just living in the same room, honestly, because that's hard. But then they would cut over to the other van to show the difference, you see. And it's Heather teaching them the choreography to drive back. And I could tell Candiace is like not really in the mood because she's like, I don't care. But Heather's like, no, it's really fun if I do it. Trust me. Marisol, then they cut back over the other van. Marisol is like, we have different talents, and Alexia is a master of fighting. And Gizelle tries to explain like, well, I don't think she's looking for you to fight. I think she's looking for you to have her back. And I'm like, that's the same thing because Alexia is picking fights with everybody and fighting with everybody. And if she wants her to have her back, she's expecting her to fight with her. That's the same fucking thing. Same thing. Giselle's confessional, though, she's like, what I'm gathering is Alexia is resentful that she's basically always including Marisol and everything on the show. I'm like, so she's basically, Gizelle, translation, Alexia is carrying Marisol and she's sick of it. Oh, got it. And Alexia is like getting in Marisol's face now, dude. And she's like, when I argue, I speak the truth. So that's why nobody can beat me. And what you did to me at Nicole's engagement party was not cool. The fact that by this point, Alexia knows that she just hadn't scrolled all the way down to the bottom. And she's still mad that Marisol went, maybe they haven't updated the website. Okay. And then Alexia's confessional, not everything is about laughter and humor and drinking. Well, that's your friend's brand, so get over it. Ew. And then Marisol says, well, that gives you the right to say my marriage is fake. And she does, no, you're putting words in my mouth. You know what? You need to go on pills. Your brain is like rotten, just so you know. Now, I'm going to say something. As someone who grew up with people who speak two languages and primarily Spanish being their first language and they can speak back and forth between English and Spanish. I know that sounds horrible. Your brain is like rotten. Sometimes words between languages don't fully translate and like the word in English is like, whoa. But I can almost guarantee that there's a phrase in Spanish or the language that they use that doesn't quite mean the same thing. I'm giving her a lot of leeway though, because no matter how she meant that was fucked up. To tell her she needs to go on pills because her brain is messed up. Why? Because you did say that her marriage didn't count. That's what you said to her in front of everybody on camera. Your marriage doesn't count. But I'm going to still just say, just because of the language thing, that's the only thing I'm going to give her credit for there. That's the only thing. But still, you said you need to go on pills because your marriage or because your brain is fucked up. That's really sick. That's your friend. Okay, that's something you were willing to say in front of people. But then they immediately cut over to the other van where they're doing drive-back choreography. And then, okay, so there's lollipop choreography involved. And Heather, no. Don't do that. Don't do that, please. Even Leah's trying to do it with her, but she's like, oh, no, don't, okay. And they would cut back over to the other van that's silent and then back over to the happy dancing. But anyway, they arrive at the gorgeous venue and it's kind of like, forget it. Immediately Marisol's talking to Alexia like nothing happened. And it's just because it's stunning. They in the boat that they take to get over to the table, there are these hanging lights that have like dripping orchids as the lantern. It's gorgeous. So dinner time, Whitney talks about how she got high and they smoked in the confessional. And Whitney's like, yeah, I went to the kitchen and ate some chicken. And here comes Alexia with just a question. Just wondering. She's like, I'm just wondering about your children when they see you on television. And you mentioned your daughter, she found paraphernalia where you had to have this conversation with her. How do you feel? How do you feel about that? Whitney says, so here's the thing. Do I want my daughter to find a pipe? No. And Alexia says, I'm not asking you to apologize. Well, she didn't. We're getting off the topic. Well, what? You asked her, how do you feel about that? So she's responding. And she's like, it's not about you being you. I think you're amazing. You have a 9-year-old and a 12-year-old. It's like a dangerous age. You're forming your children. Now, here's the thing. I was not mad at Leah coming in and being like, are you talking about this from experience because of your ex-husband? Yeah, exactly, bitch. When did you explain to your kids why, your ex-husband was in prison? What are you talking about? Alexia, of course, gets defensive and she's like, no, I raised my children on my own. Okay. And then Portia goes, are you judging? Alexia, no, I'm not even judging. I really want to know because as you were sitting there on the pole and then we go to the confessional, I'm super liberal. Okay. Yeah, you're really proving it. But you know what has always stopped me? What are my kids going to think of me? And Leah goes, I'm just surprised because you were married to a cartel member. And Portia goes, what the hell does the cartel have to do with this conversation? And I swear, Portia's like, oh shit, leave me out of this then. I didn't know that was what was happening. Okay, I didn't know we have a cartel connection. I am out of this. Let it be known on the record. I am on Alexia's team. Team Alexia, Mr. Cartel. Alexia's like, Leah, I'm having a conversation with Whitney. Okay, you don't like it. That's how she always gets. Like, she does not like what Leah's saying. She's like, excuse me, I'm having a conversation over here. Do you mind? Leave me alone. Thanks. Leah's like, but then Leah goes, everyone's like, Leah, why aren't you talking? And now I try to talk and you're putting me down. When did they say you weren't talking? You are taking one piece of what Portia said. She said you're not connecting to the group. She didn't say you weren't talking, okay? They actually said you're complaining too much. You're whining and bitching. So, never mind, Leah. And then Alexia goes, well, because you're throwing shade. Oh, no. Now Alexia knows a new term. She's going to say that all next season. They're filming now for the next season. I bet she's saying, oh, shade, passive-aggressive shade. Alexia claims that her kids were not born when she was married to her ex. How? But aren't they his kids? Leah's like, how are you judging when your man was selling cocaine? I wasn't judging. I was asking her for advice. On what? Your children are grown. What advice do you need? Huh? And then Leah's confessional, though, is crazy. She's like, the clothes on her back were probably bought off the money made from people who overdosed. Get off your high horse. Look. Is that a little too far? Maybe, but at the end of the day, it's like, come on. Whitney just is like, I've had very open conversations. But then Marisol, I swear she's coming off the van ride where she was told she has to speak up for Alexia and have her back. So she's like, Whitney, you have to excuse me, but if you have respect for your family, you would not be on a stripper pole on television. And I swear she goes too far. Because then everybody is like, no, okay, yeah, you can't say that. And Marisol, who has no children, I'm thinking about the kids when they go to school. I'm thinking about the kids. And she's doing the stern double point. I'm thinking about the kids when they go to school and they're the parents of the other kids. And they say that to them. Okay. That's what I'm thinking of. And Candiace goes, what about when your husband goes to work and they see you drinking all day? Woo. But Gizelle goes, let her finish. She put her foot in it. Let her finish, which I thought was kind of funny because it was a very housewives moment. Like, all right, we're all here. We're all on camera. Let her get a chance to fix it because this is going to air. And Marisol goes, I didn't put my foot in it. I'm thinking about the judgy parents that tell their kids, the kids that go to school and the kids get in her kid's ear. No. Portia's like, you don't know how she's running her household. Whitney says her kids go, okay, yeah, that's my mom. Are you jealous? Work. And now they're like, it's time for the festival. And so, yeah, bye, judgy Miami. And all it is Pepsi presenting this bottle. I know y'all love Pepsi, but I find Pepsi to be weird. I think Pepsi thought he was next time they cast a butler, I want him just to be a butler. I don't want him to think he's part of the show. He keeps trying to get in all the shots and he's like, I am the presenter of the bottle. I'm like, I don't need a fucking presentation of a fucking bottle. What is this? Sorry, I know I'm going to get hate for this. But he's just trying to have such a moment. I love Candiace going, we are rewarding demon behavior. That bottle don't deserve Gizelle. It doesn't. And then the intention ceremony, anyone who comes down to like do their, this is my intention. He's like standing on his tiptoes to get in their frame. Like, yes, I am also a part of this. He's like, Pepsi is always with you. I am always with you. I'm like, I don't know. I find him to be an actor. That is my take on it. But I'm also an asshole sometimes. I have a hard time with he just feels like he's forcing it a little bit. And it doesn't necessarily feel totally sincere, but they all loved him. So I'm probably just being an asshole. I feel like he doesn't understand his role. And I want him to just want to like take care of them, but I feel like he wants a moment on camera. Oh, I'm going to get hate for this. Oof, sorry. I know. Why am I going after Pepsi? Like, Emily, get your life together. What is wrong with you? But sometimes, like, like I miss, what was his what's that guy's name from last season? I liked him. He's like, get me away from them. I just want to help facilitate and get out. He was terrified of Dorinda too. But Marisol and Alexia, they cry when they set their intentions because they know they fight like married couples, but they love each other forever. Whatever. I don't care. Heather says she doesn't feel like she can have an amazing time without opposition, but this trip taught her different. And I don't understand that. Like, I was hoping I would I started to type that out like, oh, she's saying something interesting. But then I was like, I don't know what that means. I don't get it. The next day, for some reason, they decided to haunt me in my dreams forever with the visual of Heather and Whitney with animal heads on doing their bad weather dance. And I was like, well, fuck you guys for that. Okay. Leah and Candiace have a sweet, loving moment as they say goodbye. Whether or not I enjoy either of them as, or whether or not I enjoyed them as friends, they had a connection and it was cute and it seemed genuine. So whatever. They make sense as friends. You know, they do. Marisol and Alexia are actually happy they still get to fly together. So, you know, cute, whatever. Whitney and Alexia do have a moment in the dining room area before they leave. And Alexia, quote, clarifies that she was actually coming from a good place. And Alexia says, I've always struggled with setting a good example for my kids, but maybe you do this with your kids and they never want to smoke pot because I never smoke pot and Peter, he smokes pot. Hi. Which is why it was a little confusing that you were judging with Peter. Because even Whitney's like, yeah, didn't her kid like punch a homeless person? He did. And then some. So. And then they could discuss, like, I need to be more like you and you need to be a little more like me. Blah, blah, blah. And Candiace leads him in one final goodbye to Pepsi. They present him with the card, a framed pic, and clearly there's an envelope with cash in it. Then they play the credits as they all take off in the vans, and then Gizelle, they do like that record scratch interrupts. Now, Gizelle goes, now where's my bottle? Producer's like, I really don't know. We really looked everywhere. And then they go to sneaky Candiace and Leah, and they have it. And I was like, are we fucking kidding? I was pissed. I was like, so this was a real bit? And then they show us that it was Heather going, should we take a shot of that tequila from, I can't believe they didn't check the outdoor shower. I know, it's bottle stealing 101. What? So Heather intentionally stole the bottle because she was mad at Gizelle because Gizelle treated her shitty from the beginning? Is that why? And then she allowed it to go on this long and was able to maintain the lie that whole time. And Whitney, doesn't that say a lot about them? So first, we have to deal with the black eye storyline. Now the bottle. I don't know if I can ever forgive this. I don't know. I really don't know. I really don't know. Okay. Anyway. All right, guys. Well, I can't. I just fucking can't. I can't. The season was cute. It was, well, I wouldn't say silly because they need to never do this again. They need to only get people who are not in current shows, and they need to only cast people that were like veterans. Like they did at least 3 seasons. Like I want to say 4+ seasons minimum for sure. I want someone who is seasoned for sure. Not in a show that's just aired. One-offs. I don't want duos. I don't like them coming in teams, not to toll. I like them having just this individual connections. And yeah. Gizelle's not invited anymore. How about that? Or maybe I don't know. Maybe Gizelle can be invited, but I don't know. That's really up in the air. The bottle thing really pissed me off. Even if someone did take your bottle, let it the fuck go. Heather is not invited. That's for sure. Heather is not invited. None of the Salt Lake people can be invited anymore. Well, Lisa Barlow might be interesting just because of her voice. Just because she's really funny accidentally. Like she's genuinely not trying to be funny, but she just is accidentally funny all the time to me. Like, that could be good. Yeah, no, this, I was enjoying, Portia needs to be on all of them. Portia should just be on a staple on all of them. Maybe not all of them, because then then they start to do bits and they start to perform too much. But she was perfect on this. Like, my God, imagine her not there. Oh, it would have been unwatchable. She was perfection. Great comeback. What a comeback, right? Oh my God. But I am pissed. Anywho, I'm gonna go. I'm very bitter. I'm very, very bitter about this. But guys, yeah, love you, mean it. Stay messes out there. And pray that my spectrum gets turned on no later than tomorrow afternoon, if not sooner. Because if they have some sort of bad news for me, because I'm always just waiting for them to be like, oh, there's a part that we thought we had, but we don't have that specific part, and that's not going to get ordered until, you know what I mean? That's just my luck. So, fingers crossed. Okay? Bye. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. If you did, would you mind leaving me a 5-star rating and review on whatever platform you are listening? If you're watching on YouTube, don't forget there's the super thanks option down at the bottom, the little button with the $ and the heart. And also I'm on buymeacoffee.com/SheSpeaksBravo if you want to buy me a little coffee or 2 or 5. And my Patreon, that is where I'm covering all of the classic Bravo jams. If you want to follow me over there and subscribe, link is in the description. And follow me on Instagram and TikTok at She Speaks Bravo. And whoever the guest was for today, all their information is always in the episode description. So if you want to follow them and check them out, check there for the info. And any of the sponsor codes that I mentioned in this episode will also be in the description. I love you guys. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. And I'll see you next time. Bye.